Hello. Sorry about that. Let me know if you can hear me. We're having some issues. I don't know. It's been a day. It's been a day. Welcome everyone. I'm glad you're here. Sorry for the late start. This normally doesn't happen. But we were having a hard time with sound with Christopher, who's going to come in a moment. So I apologize. We're hoping it may not be the ideal sound, but we'll keep working on it as we go. So you might have to bump up the volume a little bit to hear Christopher when he joins. Welcome. Yes, Gina went live. This is Gina's normal day. She always goes live. I'm just here today because Christopher and I had something fun we wanted to talk about. Before I get started with him, I apologize. I disappeared some there again. I traveled and I got sick, which seems to be what I do this year. Whenever I've been traveling more than I usually do, and I keep getting sick. Anyway, went to Disney, got sick, went to Concord and Ninth, and that it turned into a sinus infection and double ear infection. So I've been trying to rest. But I'm back now, a little weak, so we'll probably keep this a little bit shorter than usual. Plus Christopher goes live tonight too. So I'm going out for dinner tonight, so you know, got to squeeze it all in. I will be going to live for longer, like one of those where I really throw a lot at you on Sunday. So Sunday at 3, I've got a special offer on Sunday. I've got lots of things I want to share then. So I just need to give myself some time to get back in the swing of things. Good. Okay, so today I have Christopher Allen from Brutus Monroe here because we have something new we want to share with you, and then he's going to show me how to make something. Because I haven't been feeling good and taking it easy, he offered to send me some things that are really easy to create with, and he's going to show me how to use them. So really easy, just a relaxing live. So Mike, can you go ahead and bring in Christopher? Is he there? Hi. There we go. We're working on his sound. It's a little quiet. We're working on it. We're working on it.
Yes.
So
I'm hoping everybody can hear me. We're working on an earbud for me, but they're charging right now. So things might change drastically midway, but hopefully you can hear me right now.
yeah, he'll just have to yell, you know? Just what you wanted to do, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So there are a couple of great things going on right now. First, you want to tell them about what's going on through tomorrow.
Sure. So right now, through tomorrow at midnight Eastern Standard Time, you will get 25% off of any order that's $50 or more. So we put together a Customer Appreciation Week this week. It's usually pretty busy around here at Brutus Monroe this week that we're currently in because we're preparing for all of our events. We're preparing for lots of things that come up in March and so on and so forth. So I give my staff kind of a little bit of a breather this week. And with Customer Appreciation Week, that makes it a little bit easier because they're not running around with different types of promos and marketing and so on and so forth. It's just the simple 25% off of $50 or more. And luckily, there is actually a collection that we have of all the things that we're going to kind of touch on today with Jennifer, the things that I sent to Jennifer. And then also the main craft or the main project we're doing today, we've put together a special bundle for you. And that special bundle, you'll see that in the actual collection that's linked. It is right over that $50 threshold. So we wanted to make sure that it was just a little tiny bit over so that it would hit that 25% off coupon. And it's literally everything that you could possibly need to do the special project that we're doing today.
Yay. Thank you for that. So
Makes it easy.
25% off site-wide. Is there anything excluded?
Nope, not on the site. The only thing that would be excluded would be any of our, I guess you would call them like our sister or brother websites. So events.brutusmonroe.com, it doesn't count there, and it won't count at the outlet store either. But what's really cool is it does count for our sister store, Scoozies, which is all of our delicious candies. So Scoozies is a part of the Brutus Monroe website. Right at the top, you just click, you can see the little candy icon. And right now would be a great time to load up on that Easter and spring candy at 25% off. So we just actually got a huge restock the other day. So Scoozies and Brutus Monroe are both really, really well stocked right now.
I How many orders the other night you were live and you were talking about candy, and how many orders did I place? I think
Several.
I think I did.
I lost count, but the candy, it made sense when we opened Scoozies. Where Scoozies will be a year old in April, May, somewhere around there. And
Yeah.
it was like, it dawned on me one day. I was sitting and, making cards, and I was eating gummy bears, and I was like, wait a second. I was like, why don't we have somewhere that you can get both? I want to buy card bases and a chocolate bar. Where does that exist? And so Scoozies was born, named after my niece and nephew, and now it all works out. I have to figure out something else for my third my second nephew that's coming in May for my sister, my
Oh
sister,
yeah,
not my
yeah, yeah.
sister-in-law. So I have to figure out what I'm gonna, because I name companies after things that I love. So I know I'm gonna love him very much already. I already do before he's here. So we'll have to figure out what we're gonna do for him. I'm
You
very
have to open another business.
right. Yeah.
Maybe you'll get lucky and you won't like them.
Stop. Okay, so Scoozies, they have also unique, like the pretzels, the apple pie pretzels. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
so good.
We have it's
So
Pop
good.
Daddy. So we have pretzels. We now carry also their potato chips, which are, oh my goodness, they're so good. But the real I guess headliner, so to speak, of Scoozies is our bulk candy. So we have it's packaged bulk candy, but we have tons and tons of varieties of Scoozies candies. They actually come in little containers. I actually have one right here, luckily. So this is how you would get your Scoozies candy in a jar, and we have, I mean, tons and tons of different varieties, and they're sealed. These ones obviously aren't because I got into them, but when you get them, it's just a cool little nostalgic. The candy store is very, very Willy Wonka like. When you watch Willy Wonka, the very
It
first
is.
store that they go into, and they're, all the apothecary jars and stuff like that. It's very much if Brutus Monroe had a candy store. That's really what it is.
So back in December, Christopher was celebrating their big anniversary, and I went with several of my friends to their celebration, and I was so giddy in both of the stores. So I bought all the Christmas stocking stuffers there, and then when I ordered the other day, all of that candy went to college, Colin and his college roommates. So, well, Lila got to some of it first, but it
And my
happens.
mother was a chocolatier in a previous life. I mean, she used to make chocolate for a living when I was very, very little, and then it was just a kind of a side gig of hers. But she now loves to send it to Jennifer. So Jennifer has gotten her first package for Valentine's Day. So now she's on my mother's chocolate list. So she will get something for every single holiday
So
that comes up.
I'm not big on chocolate, but when I was at Christopher's party, I don't know if it was you or if it was Jess, said you have to try these chocolate
Probably
covered Nutter
Jess.
Butters. And
Yeah.
I about died. And so I got home and I had chocolate covered peanuts and chocolate covered Oreos, and she put something in there.
Yeah.
I don't know what it
She
is.
mixes her own blend of chocolate, and I think that's what makes it so good. She doesn't just like take like you would think like an almond bark or something like that. She mixes a special blend of the different chocolates that she uses, and I think that's what makes it so good. It's like the creamiest milk chocolate I think you'll ever have, and hopefully someday, if I can convince her, Scoozies will be able to sell those chocolates by the pound.
It is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So when I got the Valentine's Day package from her, the family came out like, vultures. It was great.
Yep.
Anyway, so Scoozy is included in that.
It sure is, the whole thing. There's a little over. I just looked at the discount list. It's a little over. Oh my goodness! I think it's 4,000 products that is included.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you. That's very generous. And
Of course.
while you guys are, if you're shopping, keep in mind Christopher carries his own line of stuff. Then he also carries other company stuff. But some of the things that I recommend from Brutus Monroe, embossing powders, the best embossing powders. They're high quality. He mixes them himself there. The alabaster white embossing powder I've recently switched to. I know Christina uses it too. Then, but there's also lots of specialty ones. Then the cardstock, Not Your Mama's cardstock, that heavyweight, it's good stuff. There's nothing thicker than that cardstock. I have it linked below. And then also his stencils. Now he's got other things too, but I love his stencils. And then we're gonna be using some stuff today. So yeah, Betsy likes your alabaster white too. So a few weeks ago, I contacted Christopher and I asked him if he would make and sell something that I've been wanting to have available. When I was there at the Brutus Monroe site, I noticed that, or I saw him make sweatshirts. He printed them like right in front of me. And so, which I was wearing earlier. So I asked him if he would make and print some aprons, because I've been wanting to get these available, and he said yes. So today we're going to show you these aprons that Christopher has available, and you make those there still, right?
We do. So yeah, so you don't want me to show them, or do you want me to show them?
I think you should show them.
Absolutely. So I'll show you
show.
what they look like when you get them packaged first. And then I will show the actual out of package, because I think it's important to show the packaging, because the packaging here at Brutus Monroe, we take packaging very seriously. I mean, we take everything very seriously. But
and I heard,
when you get
Mom was putting these together, right?
She was. So the very first one is I would say the quintessential Share Handmade Kindness, this beautiful, beautiful font that we all know and love, that we recognize. I have it in my, I use this literally in almost every single live to hold things down. And so this one, what you'll notice is, number one, it'll show you, what the apron is. And then the first 100 aprons that are sold, I think it might actually be 125, or I have to look at the count. You are going to receive a Brutus Monroe sticker as well as a Jennifer McGuire sticker. Yay. So they're going to be random. Some of the Brutus Monroe ones, you'll get either the logo or the Create Your Own Ending sticker. And then there's a whole variety of stickers that you will get for Jennifer stickers. Now, this is the first one. So it's the Share Handmade Kindness, the actual logo. Then we have another one that we chose to do together, which is the I Love Crafty People, They Get Me. And again, you will receive, your stickers, and I just love this as well. And then, of course, we have the Share Handmade Kindness hashtag on that one. And then last but not least, we have the Share Handmade Kindness, and we call this the postage apron. I don't know if there's a better term to give it, but this is what we call the postage Share Handmade Kindness. So all three of them are available. They are available also as a part of the 25% off. You would just you would buy all three of them and you'd get 25% off because they are $20 a piece. I'm going to tell you why they're $20 a piece, because they're about $2 more than the standard apron on the market, but there's a reason for that, and I'll show you. Mike, if we could go to the front, and I'll show them what makes them special when I hold up the real one, or the one out of the package. So one of the things that was very important to Jennifer was that there was plenty of room with these ties, so that everybody could use these ties. So as soon as Jennifer text messaged me, I started searching for a manufacturer for the apron, because obviously this part we manufacture. We do all of this. So what I did was, when I got the apron samples in, I was like, oh, that one's not long enough. Oh, that one's too short. So what we did, and it's kind of innovative, I don't know that I've seen this with an apron before. So this string here actually moves. So if you are a little bit larger up top, you can actually take this and pull it down to whichever area you need it to be. And then these straps actually move within the apron. So you can, if you want it to be higher up, you can take it and tie it around back. If you want it to be a little bit lower, you just pull down and you can tie it, in a different way. It's gonna fit, veritably, everyone. It has the extra long straps on the back. And another thing that was very important to Jennifer was that it needed to have pockets. So the pockets are in the front as well. It will absolutely fit over a weighted vest. Anything will fit with a running start, right, Jennifer? So you're just gonna have to jump into it and then have someone wrap it around the back. But yeah, so all of them will have this. Now, the one thing that I would suggest that's also fantastic about this apron is if you have to wash it, you can wash it in, in cold water, throw it in the washing machine, but take your ties out of it. So what you'll do is you'll just pull this all the way down. The ties will come out of it. You can use just like a chopstick or something that you'll be able to pull the back through. But the beauty of this is these ties actually come out of it. So you can pull them completely out, put them back in. But that was very important to be able to allow for the adjustment of the apron. And that's why we went with this one. And again, there are pockets. So we wanted to go with the best of the best, obviously, for Jennifer's apron. And I think, we had talked, if this is something that you like and something that goes well, we can absolutely do, tote bags and sweatshirts. You'll just have to leave us some suggestions of things that you would love to have the share of handmade kindness. I mean, now that I have this, I'm going to put on everything I have. I already have a hoodie with it on that I wore the other day. So it's, the problem is I can't wear it live because then everybody's like, I want that hoodie. And then, there's a lot of work that goes into that. But the aprons, I just want you to know there was a lot of heart and a lot of thought that went into how we developed these, because we wanted them to be inclusive for everybody to be able to wear. But also, and I mean, it's even kids. I mean, you can pull this up. I mean, my goodness, you can pull the apron up to almost nothing if you needed to.
You can make it real high.
Yeah.
Hey, it can be
and then
a
it turns
bib.
into like a bib.
So you can eat your chocolate while you're crafting.
Yeah. Yeah.
See how that works?
Oh yeah, you can just tie them together to wash it as well. It just makes it so much easier because they come out. I just pull the whole thing out, and then you can wash your ties, separately, like in a little tub or something. But the entire staff have asked for these to use when they're in different areas of the store. So I said, of course, sharing handmade kindness is one of the best things we can do. So now you can have it on your apron.
So a few people asked about the material. It looks like it's 65% polyester, 35% cotton. So it's like a typical apron material. It's not like I don't know, it's not chintzy.
No, I would say that it's a little more, I'd say it's a little bit more deluxe than you're probably used to. It actually has like a sheen to it, which I think is kind of pretty. But yeah, having that 60% polyester I would say repels things a little bit better than cotton would, because cotton's just going to soak everything up. But yeah, I mean, I've been wearing mine for about a week whenever I'm in here and I'm, spraying stuff and so on and so forth. And having it black is also great because a multitude of sins just soak into it and you don't even know that you spilled on yourself. The
three things that I wanted the most was black, so that we can get ink or chocolate, whatever, on it.
Yes.
I also wanted it to be size inclusive, and I didn't know that it was going to be this adjustable thing, which is great because I have some aprons where there's like a tightener thingy.
Yeah.
What do you call them? Mm-hmm. Up here, and it just drives me crazy.
I think it's a toggle, is what they call it.
A toggle. See, he's so fancy. Yeah. But I also I wanted it black. I wanted it to be size exclusive, and you need those pockets. You need pockets, right? Mm-hmm. So there's two nice pockets in the front. So thank you for doing this, because this is something. Yes, Kathy asked can we put wine in the pocket? Yes, a bottle of wine would fit nicely in a pocket.
Nice substantial pockets.
Things like runners put water in.
It's quite big, yes. So I had for a long time wanted to have aprons available. I don't have the manpower or anything to make that happen. So when I saw Christopher making them there, I loved the idea of him having them. So there's 3 of them, and they're included in the 25% off, right?
Yes. So if you bought all 3, if you wanted all 3 going with a friend, or if you just want 3 aprons, I mean, it's not a bad, 3 aprons isn't an exuberant amount to have if you're crafting a lot. You'll get 25% off of that total purchase, because it would be $60. So, and then, or if you got 1 apron in the bundle, or, we're going to be showing you quite a few things, but everything is included. Yes, we wanted to make sure that that was part of the deal, so that you could kind of get in on the first release of them.
Yeah, so Dana's here, and she recommended a bottle of white in one pocket and a bottle in red in the other. My friends are terrible.
Done. I mean, I would dare to say that you could probably, fit at least 18 mini bottles in here as well. So there's, I mean, really, there's a lot that you could do with this. Probably about,
They're
I'd
big.
say 3 cans of beer. I mean, there are many options for it.
Well, here, let me show the pockets. I have the apron on, but let me switch. So, well, you can't see, but the pockets are there's 2 of them and they're right next to each other and they're big. Let me just measure it. Each pocket's like 7 inches wide and a little over 8 inches tall. So they're nice and roomy. So I'm very excited. Thank you so much for doing this.
So Jessica just brought me. We have a lot of celebrations here at Brutus Monroe. And you could absolutely, I mean, you're done. You're in. You just walk around. You just have this. I mean, you need this, a pair of scissors, and, you know, one of the stabby tools from Gina K, and you're ready to go. You're done. I mean, we're in.
The stabby tool again.
Done. You're done. You got everything you need. Maybe a little bit of Connect glue. And then literally, whatever you stamp off, you just pull this right out, and you're ready to go. I mean, it could not be more perfect.
This is why I enjoyed your team when I was there. Like, I loved your team so much. The family.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
the way you guys,
all, yeah.
the way you all take care of each other. Betsy and I were talking about that when we were driving home. I was just blown away. It was so
we're very
inspiring.
much a family here. You know, and I think I've told multiple times in my life, every Monday we completely shut down all operations and we eat lunch together. It's very important that we sit down and have a conversation that's not about work. And I always said that I did not want anyone to dread coming to work on Mondays. So my mom cooks the meal. It's always a home cooked meal. And we all stop everything on Monday. And I mean, you have to ask my peers, because I don't call them my staff, my peers, you'd have to ask them if they enjoy coming to work on Mondays, because I certainly love coming to work on Monday because I know I'm getting a home cooked meal. I can stop everything that I'm doing, chat with my friends, and it's a really fun place to work. I mean, we certainly work very, very hard, but I think that if you enjoy it, is it ever really work? I say that all the time.
Yeah. It just felt like a big hug being there.
Yeah.
And Jessica's now my favorite because of the bottle she just brought you to demo with.
Oh yeah, she came running around the corner. I don't know what was going on.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, so so there's no code. If you have $50 in your cart, it automatically comes off at the end. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
As soon as you hit the checkout screen, you'll see that it will pop in. It says customer appreciation week is what it says, and that'll pop right into checkout.
Awesome. And thank you so much for making these, because
Of course.
I've been wanting this to happen for a while, and when I saw you making them there, I was just like, yay.
Well,
Yay.
I saw the wheels turning. Like I saw as they were happening, I was like, what is she up to? Because I could see that you were thinking of something. And then, of course, a couple months down, it came to fruition. And now, I mean, they look great. And I love them. And I'm glad that we could find an apron. Because the base, I mean, we already had the beautiful designs that you had, but the base of it was what was most concerning to me, because I knew that we had to find the perfect manufactured apron. And as soon as I got the one that we could adjust it without doing all the madness of adjusting, I knew we were good to go.
What was I going to say? Yeah, well, when I was there, you were printing those sweatshirts, and the quality was so great. So if folks have interest in other things that, you know, we can always get other things printed there if you're interested, because the quality, I love that sweatshirt. Again, I was wearing it this morning, but got a little too warm here this afternoon. Okay, so all of the information, if you go to my YouTube description below, you can click a link to Christopher's, and it will automatically give you that discount. And you don't need a code, just click the link in the description below. Mike can throw the link into the chat also. Down there, you'll find the link to all the Share Handmade Kindness aprons. So you should be able to find them just fine there. Okay, so one of the things that I liked when I was shopping at Christopher's store, which I left with like 4 bags of stuff. One of the things that I liked is he's got a lot of clever products that are great for making quick cards. They are fantastic. So when I talked to Christopher about going live today and showing these aprons, he recommended using a certain line of his products, and he's going to show me how to use those today and different ideas with them. Now, this is really ideal if you're just wanting a really cool card without having to think hard. You know, like,
Perfect. Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. So, would you like to show us what we're going to do? I can switch here.
Absolutely. Yeah, so if we want to switch to the overhead, I will actually show, I have here the bundle prepared. So this is the bundle that you will get if you select the actual full bundle, which is, we've curated it so that it was very easy for you to just grab everything. So the way that the bundle works is, first you're going to get our bulk packs of A2 card bases, probably one of our most popular items that we sell here at Brutus Monroe. It's very simple. It's 4/4 by 5.5 scored side fold or top fold card bases. They're done with our Perfect Blend paper, which is an 80-pound paper, and they're already scored. So it's really, really simple to grab and go with those. Then
Which
we
cardstock
have
is
our
that?
washi sheets. What was that? I'm sorry?
Which cardstock was that?
This is, it's the Perfect Blend cardstock. So it's the one that we suggest for marker coloring or for ink blending. It is kind of our standard cardstock. It's like our entry level, I would say, cardstock. Okay.
Great.
So then we have our washi sheets, and I'm going to show you how to use these. These are what we're going to demo today. Let me make sure I have, So we put together what we call the essentials pack. So what we've run into multiple times with washi tape, which I know most of you probably have used washi tape in the past, and Jennifer's are the old style. They do not have that big label on the front anymore. They just have the QR code, and we did that because a lot of people couldn't see the whole patterns in the store. So now they just, not a QR code, but a UPC. So the way that I'll show you the designs first, and then we'll talk about how they work. So the first one is called Folk Art, and you actually receive 10 on each sheet, and you get 2 sheets in a pack. So this is Folk Art. Then we have the one that we just launched this month. This is called Doodle Art, and this one, I'll just show you very, very quickly. I made this card with the Doodle Art. It's so easy. I literally just ink blended and popped my washi tape on there. It took 2 seconds. We'll talk about that. Then we have the flowers and bow ties. This one we created for Mother's and Father's Day, so it gives you both on the same sheet. Then we have rainbow hearts. This is a really cool kind of gessoed and kind of scribbled heart design. Then we have birthday balloons. So we chose our most popular ones for all of you in this bundle. So this is birthday balloons. Then we have Easter eggs, which of course, I mean, that's a no-brainer. The Easter eggs for the holidays coming up. Then we have blinding lights. This is a really popular one because it has that darker background on it.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, we have spring fling. So this is one that matches a paper pad that we used to have. And these are all different crocheted florals, and then we have these beautiful, like I think they're called the cherry blossoms in between. So it's 2 different on the same one.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome.
So the way that they work, let's bring in our washi maps. So I had someone that came into the store. I want to say her name was Betsy. I'm not, or maybe Melissa, but regardless, her name doesn't matter at this point. She said, "I love your washis, and I think they're so incredible, but I need an easy way to use them." So I said, okay, let me put on my thinking cap and figure out how I can make it easy for our partners in creativity to use these washi things. So thus I created the washi maps. So I'll show you again how these work after we go through all 3 of them. The first one is it's just called 1. When you see it on the website, it is our first washi map, and they do get cut into quarters. You get 2 in every pack. Then we have 2, so this is the second washi map that you can get, and you'll understand what we do with this in just a moment. And then we have a 3rd one, and I always say that the 3rd one is like this is your number 1 is your high school diploma, number 2 is your graduate, and number 3 would be the doctorate. So they go in order of how simple they would be to actually construct. They get much
Gotcha.
more difficult as the I mean, and I would say just difficult with cutting and things like that. So
Sure.
let's go ahead and I'll take out number 1 because that's again the easiest one I think to begin with. And these are printed on again our Perfect Blend cardstock. It is an 80-pound cardstock. We did it on this because you'll feel this, Jennifer. It's so smooth. It is probably the smoothest cardstock that we could find because we know that people do a lot of blending. I mean, it is called Perfect Blend cardstock for a reason. And that's why we wanted to bring, it's actually something from the digital printing press industry. And it has to be super ultra smooth because when they print with the inks and stuff, obviously it will get snagged up if it's not super smooth.
Gotcha.
So we'll take our paper trimmer. And what this is designed to be cut into quarters. So when I trim this, it'll be at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And when you trim it, it will be perfectly, it should be perfectly trimmed to that size. So again, we'll go to
Well
5
done.
1/2. And then we have our little starting base. So I'm going to start with this one because this is my favorite design out of all of them. You can decide, or you can start with whichever one you want, Jennifer. But I'm going to start with this one. And all you do, I mean, if you blink, you're going to miss it because it's so easy to do this. You take out your washi sheets, and you're going to choose whichever ones you want to use. I'm going to use these dark ones at the top because I really love these, but
so do
you
I.
can use the bottom ones. They're pretty much the same design, just different. I mean, backwards. So what you do is now you'll see you peel this off and it is perfectly printed. So what you'll do is you'll just place it right over top of that map. Okay. And for mine, I have a little bit of space. So I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm going to cut right here so that I can still use that. And I'm just going to fold it over, okay? So there's our very first strip there.
Okay.
Then I'm going to flip it around and go to my next one and line that up. And then I'm going to trim that, fold that over, and then there's our second kind of strip there. And it makes it really easy to go through because it really will line up every time. Then I just trimmed off that one end and I'm just going to use this for this piece here, okay? And you can continue to cut this off. What I usually do when I get my washi sheets is I will actually peel this whole piece off of here.
Okay.
Because then I can go back in if I have little extra pieces and I just place them right on my release sheet here like that, okay? So just peel that whole piece off, and then you'll also be able to see what the designs are going to look like. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back in. I'm going to grab another, and all of these washi sheets were created to match one another. So you can really just go in and just add all of your little pieces on top and just go right through. I'm going to save this. I'm not going to save this little piece for this one, but again, just pop it right on here. These are actually great for what you can do is you can take these little washi pieces and cut this off of here, and then if you have a little die set later, like our little flowers that we did a couple months ago, you just place this on top, and then you can cut them out, and they become little stickers. So you don't waste any of your pieces.
Yeah, you can die cut from this. Okay, so tell me about what this is, because this feels tell me about what this is printed on, because it feels
so it's not going
cool.
Yeah, it's not going to be a typical. It's not a typical washi. A washi would normally be kind of transparent. This is actually printed on a cotton sticker sheet, quote unquote. It's a cotton based sheet, so you'll see when you get yours at home, because I see I'm watching right now on my other screen everyone that's on the website right now. There's a lot of you that are going to be getting these home, so we want to explain to you exactly what they are. The cotton base on it makes the inks saturate really, really well. So when you get them home, you'll see that they are really, really, really saturated. They almost look like they've been hand painted, and
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool part of them. But you'll see when you get them home, and you kind of can feel them in your own hands. They're very matte. They're very, very easy to work with as well. They are repositionable up to, I'd say, about 5 minutes. 5 minutes is, I think, the longest we've allowed for it to be pulled off of it. So if you have, you get it in the wrong place, like I'll place this here and I'll be like, oops, oh no, you can't peel it off, but you have about 5 minutes to do so before it becomes completely permanent.
Gotcha. Okay.
And of course, you can create your own washi designs or washi maps, quote unquote. These are just the ones that I have designed that have been tried and true for me and have made it very easy for me to create with.
So
there is...
one of the things that I'm noticing here is that this sticks better than normal washi, like, so
Absolutely.
it kind of takes that frustration out that you get with regular
used,
washi.
my mom actually uses them for the back of her envelopes. So it's like her favorite thing to add a little bit of pizzazz to the back of an envelope whenever you're sending someone to someone. I love that they are, I think it makes sense to be able to have something that has a little bit more tact to it when you're sending something through the mail like that. Obviously, if it's in the envelope, it doesn't matter as much. But just, again, imagine taking this, doing all of this, and then taking like a beautiful stitched die or like a lace die or something like that, and cutting that out and just having that beautiful image. Why is he cutting them off and then folding them over? I'm cutting them off and folding them over because we're going to eventually place this onto, like a layering piece. You don't have to cut them off if you don't want to. You can actually, leave them and then just trim all the way around. That would kind of be counterintuitive because then you wouldn't get all your little pieces. But it does make it, it makes it super, super simple.
Okay. So what's nice about this is that these maps is that I don't have to measure to get the spacing just right. And the other thing that's nice about this is you could take some of your scraps, maybe like you did a background, like a inked background, and you didn't use it or you didn't like it, cut it into strips and glue it onto the map. You can use your pattern papers to create strips to glue onto the map. And the nice thing about the map is it gives you that spacing. And there are 4 different patterns, and there's 2 of each in the pack, right?
Correct. So there are right now there are currently 12 different patterns.
Okay.
And there are more on the way because these actually just became, in the recent months, these became very, very popular again. I think because everyone is looking for a way. Like if you are, you're in a pinch, you have 45 minutes to make a card. We all would love to be able to do dies and stamping and all of the things. But if you do not have that time, which most of us don't, if we're getting ready to go to a party of some sort, being able to use these as opposed to doing all of that extra stuff. Again, we can go into the different washies that we have and say, we're doing something for a birthday, and I grab this birthday pack. Literally, I would set a stopwatch, but something will probably go wrong because we're already having microphone issues, so we won't do that. But I can go ahead and probably, I would say in maybe about a minute and a half, I can take this, line this up very simply, grab my scissors, cut this off, and in only about a minute's time, I have this completely covered. I grab myself a sentiment, and we're ready to go to the birthday party. So you don't have to choose between if you're making your world famous meatballs or if you're making a card. You can do both with this. And it makes
I don't have any world famous meatballs, so I got to go with the card.
I'll have my mom send you some. She makes some delicious ones.
I tell you.
We'll add it to the Easter package.
So I have here a sentiment from this Spring Awakening stamp set, which I like because it goes really well with the Doodle art washi tape.
It's the same illustrator.
Yeah, so it's, I like that it goes, but then the sentiments in here I like. This thank you for helping me smile again. I know exactly who to send that card to. One day at a time is a pretty good pace. You are one of the strongest people I know, and you are simply incredible. I like that there's some unique ones there. So I decided to leave one of them off here, and I'm gonna stamp that onto a cardstock strip there.
There you go.
And put it in that spot. But see, now I got to overthink what color cardstock. You know how that, you don't overthink. You're good at not overthinking, aren't you?
I just jump right in. That's. I mean, it's a good thing and a terrible thing at the same time. It just depends, I guess, on the day.
I think it really, there's good and bad. Maybe if you got a mix of you and I, it would be like the way to go. I don't know.
Correct. I could not agree with that more. And these are actually, just so you know, for when you are cutting your cardstock, all of these are 1 inch width.
Okay.
The washies, I should say.
Okay. Good to know.
So now you can see here, it's, I mean,
look at that.
2
But
seconds.
did you just do another one in the time that I pick a color of cardstock?
Well, it makes it's so simple to just pop them together. But the one, while Jennifer's picking out her color, I'll show you the Doodle one, just to kind of go over really quickly what she was saying earlier. What I did on this card here, so whoops, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. So this card includes our brand new, I believe we actually sent, I think we sent you a pack of these, Jennifer. They're the rainbow portrait cards. These have been super, super, super popular because they are these really cool portraits, but they are all hand colored. So on the background of this, you can see I used my washi map. This washi map is, it is this washi map, whenever it's not done. And then what I did was I just blended with my favorite inks over top of it, but I did it on the sheet. So instead of taking it off of the sheet, I left them on here, and then I just blended. I just went in with my blending brushes, blended away, and then what I did was I just took them and I put them on top of here, and it made it so easy for me to be able to just place them. And the cool thing, again, about the black and white ones, and we have several black and white ones coming out this month, they actually can be changed to whatever color you want. So you do not have to choose a color, or you do not have to have your mind made up whenever you're starting to figure out the card. You can literally just go in and start blending, and it will be whatever color you want it to be. What color did you decide on, Jennifer?
Black, after overthinking everything. So I'm going to use my alabaster embossing powder.
Oh, good,
So-
good.
And the nice thing about the alabaster embossing powder is can you still get a bigger jars?
Yes, you can get a 6-ounce jar. So basically, the price, the 6-ounce jar is what I would tell you to go with, only because if you already love the alabaster embossing powder, the 6-ounce jar, it's basically like you get a jar for free with the way the pricing is. So it equates to 6 jars of embossing powder, but you only pay for 5. So that's kind of the cool part of getting the bigger one. We give you a little bit of a cost savings. Your candy order already shipped. Yes, when I go live with Jennifer, I am no fool. We have 4 people upstairs fulfilling orders right now. So your order may very well go out before we even finish our conversation.
Christopher's team is like super fast at getting orders out, and I'm super messy here.
Yeah, we have a couple of, luckily we have a couple of fulfillment stations upstairs, so it makes it a little bit easier. But also, Jessica, who, we have to tip our hat to, our director of operations here, she has everything so organized upstairs that it's like everything we're talking about today is ready to go in a pick bin. And Risa, I hope I said your name correctly, said, how many, I love that, Risa, that's a really beautiful name. How many years is embossing powder good for? Embossing powder, I would say the shelf life for mine, I'd say probably is about 5 to 8 years. I do have some still from the very beginning. But you just test it. When you open up your embossing powder, if you see a lot of clumping and the clumping is not subsiding, just give it a quick shake. If it does kind of pull itself apart, then you will see that it is, you know, that it's still okay. The number one thing that your embossing powder does not do well with is going to be moisture. So if you live in a very, very, very humid climate, excuse me, you want to make sure that your embossing powder is closed, you know, within sessions. Don't leave it sitting out. Don't let it sitting open. You'll notice in the Brutus Monroe embossing powder jars, we have this little foam lip that's inside of here, and that has a cushion in it. So when you close it and you seal it up really well, what's going to happen is it's going to, you know, kind of create like an air seal in there. No, this washi is not foilable. To make something foilable, it has to go through what's called a laser printer that heats up very, very, very hot. And when we tested this, it started to break down the adhesive. So we had to make a very, very quick choice, and that was to not do it with a foilable ability. Now, we may be able to do something down the road. We're working with our manufacturer that actually makes the cutout cotton labels for us to do something that can be super heated up. But the way that foiling works in general is, you know, the toner goes down on your sheet. The toner's heated up to a very, very high temperature to go on. Then it sticks to it because it cools. You put it through a laminator or the fuse machine, which is my favorite from Gina. And what will happen is the foil has to stick to the hot toner, and then you peel it off, and, you know, once it's cool, and that holds. The labels do not like that. They kind of curl, and we tried it, believe me, because I would love to be able to foil these. But keep your eyes peeled, because you never know what Gina and I may have up our sleeves in the future.
I bet. And I saw you and Gina went live yesterday, right?
We did. We were talking about our second. Last year, she hopped in with me at the last minute to do our spring Fling event, which is our event that this will be our second year that we're doing it, and it's just her and I, just me and Gina. I told her it's like we're sitting down at the couch chit-chatting with our friends, and we're teaching you all sorts of different floral and silhouette techniques. So that event, it is not part of the discount because there's no way Gina and I have to be able to, keep the lights on. So we can't discount events because it's already very heavily discounted when it comes to the pricing for the products as well as the classes. But we are teaching 3 classes. You will walk away with, I believe it's 10 or 11 projects. And I'm teaching 2 of the classes. Gina's teaching 1 of them. And you get, wait till you see, go over whenever you're done with this one. Don't leave us now. But when we're wrapped up, go take a look at that video. We show you a lot of what you're getting in the event. And it's one of my favorite that we do. One of my absolute favorites.
So Brianne put a link there to, thank you, Brianne, to the live. I watched it this morning, and I loved the product that you showed. I really liked the product. So if you want to see what kind of product is in it and maybe get an idea of what they'll be creating, watch that video. I do have a link to learn more about the Spring Fling event below if you are interested. So, but the discount is not on the class. That takes you to a different website where that won't work. Yeah. Avril, you're right. Christopher has a lot of really cool, unique things on his website. A lot of good gift things also. But there's mine. Look at that. And there's that nice bright white embossing powder. So this just glued to a card base. And I love the look of it, but that it sticks better than real washi. You know what I mean?
Yeah, doesn't it almost feel like it's like one of those high-end cards that you get that have like that, I call it spot printing, but it's like almost like it looks like it's been printed on the card, but it's matte. So it it kind of tricks your eyes, but it's so beautiful because it's so vibrant, but then when you look at it and it's lined up perfectly, you're like, now wait a second, how did that, well, I love cards that it's how did they do that? And Jennifer, as we all know that's watching this right now, we all know that Jennifer is really good at the how did they do that. That's why we have to watch her videos, right? Because we're like, how the heck did that happen? But with that being said, that's kind of what you're able to do with this card, and it makes it really, really simple. And also,
someone asked this. Hold on, real quick. This is the Spring
Yeah.
Awakening stamp set that I use this
That's
sentiment
perfect.
from.
I was actually
love
just
that
answering that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you
beautiful.
answered it. Yes. And also the Jessica, my producer, quote unquote, just the mic to your mic to my Jessica. She just let me know to let everyone know that there are some questions coming in on our chat on the website. The passport that is on the event site. So when you click on Jennifer's link, you get to the event site. The passport that's on there is actually for all of the Brutus or Monroe events for this year. So if you purchase that option, that actually ends tomorrow. It's only available in the month of February. You will get all 4 events for the year. So that is our the event with Gina and I, our Create Your Own Ending event, which we have not announced the teachers yet because I'm still asking teachers, and you'll be very excited when you figure out who's going to be with me this year. Also the Merry Making event and our Fall into Holidays event. So we had a lot of people ask and say, can you please just give us everything at once so that we know that we're in and we don't have to make sure that we're in. So we call it the Creative Passport. When you get your Creative Passport, you are in for all of the events. And it's kind of cool because you actually get a Brutus note. You get like an actual little passport that you put all sorts of different things in for the classes. So it's a lot of fun. So I wanted to make sure that everyone knew what that was, because Jess just said we're getting chats. So that I think hopefully will help.
There are a few questions about inking with these. What kind of ink can you blend over here? Can I use Gina's onto this?
You sure can. Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
It will blend on there beautifully.
Another question that someone asked is, can you put these on an ink blended background?
You sure can. You just want to make sure that it is, I was trying to say you sure and make sure at the same time. You want to make sure that the background is completely dry. So
completely dry,
my inks of choice are always the dye-based inks, which are, your Gina K inks, your Distress inks, your Simon Hurley inks, pretty much from any big brand, your, Simon Says Stamp, your Concord 9. All of the main inks are going to be a dye-based ink. The dye-based inks are beautiful, and they work together in tandem. You can pretty much, they all mix together. But the only thing is, they sit on top of the paper for a second, and you'll notice that whenever you use them, and that's going to be dependent on what paper you use, of course. But these papers, they're going to sit on top, I'd say for probably about 10 minutes until they completely absorb into the paper. Now you can speed that process up by using obviously a heat tool, but you want to be careful again applying heat to your labels while they are still on their backer. You can apply as much heat as you want to them once they are off of their backer. So I'll say that again so everybody kind of gets the gist of it. When these are removed, so this is them on their backer now, when you take them off and you put them on a card base, you can emboss on top of them, you can do whatever you want, as long as they have been removed from their backer. When that happens, you can go ahead and you can again do whatever you want on top. But if you are going to place these on top of an ink background, please just promise me that you'll make sure that it is dry before you do that, because they're not going to stick very well. A great technique that I see Christina do all the time, and I think I've actually seen you do it before too, Jennifer, where you just sprinkle a little bit of embossing powder on top of it, and if the embossing powder falls off, you're good to go. If the embossing powder sticks to it, you are not ready to apply your washi yet.
Right. Lots of questions about
I can't wait, Jennifer, until you peel that off and you see how cool it is and how simple it becomes, because that's what I did on this card here. I mean, I think this card took me maybe 2 minutes, because I literally at the top just blended one of our stencils from our release this month, went in and stamped "You Are One of the Strongest People I Know," and then went ahead and added my washi. And again, the cool thing is when you're using this Doodle washi, which is what Jennifer's using right now, take this whole sheet, grab your favorite colors, and just go to town. Blend on top of it. Look at that, Jennifer. Oh my goodness, I love it.
Hey, I didn't do anything. You did all the work.
But I mean, how simple does it become? Once you start blending, and then we have one where
that's awesome.
If you take a look here, this is the same artwork, but it's the same kind of premise I'll show you.
Oh, yeah,
We
yeah.
have our Doodle bookmarks that launched this month. And it's the same exact artwork. We don't want to complicate things because we want everything to go together. But this is actually Shalana. She's one of our incredibly talented members of our inspiration team. She colored it in. So you can go ahead
Wow.
in and you can absolutely color in if you want to, you know, go in and color each piece. But this is what she did with the bookmark, which made it so simple. Because again, you just go in, you color it, and you add a couple of gems, and you're on your way. And she just made it so, it's the same artwork. And then she also did the same thing, but she made a shaker bookmark. I have found that all of my my book friends, all of my bookworms, as I call them, really love to receive bookmarks. So when we came out with these bookmarks that are pre-printed, now these are foilable. They're just so easy to make a quick project with, and I love it.
Wait, these are foilable? The bookmarks are?
The bookmarks are foilable.
Bookmarks
yes.
are. Yeah.
Yes.
Look at that.
And they foil absolutely beautifully.
What markers could you use to color on the washi?
Any markers. I've used alcohol markers. I've used my Olo markers. I've used Tombow markers. I've used these ones. I've used these ones. My favorite, though, which is something that we carry at Brutus Monroe, and I think I've seen you use them before, Jennifer. So this is something that, get it while it's on sale. Let me pop these out and I'll show you. These are the Jelly Roll Starlight markers for pens.
Yeah.
And these new ones that are clickable, I am obsessed with because you don't have to, you don't lose your cap. So you just click them. And if you go in and you add in your coloring here, I love using these ones because they do have a precision tip on them. So it makes it very easy to get into those nooks and crannies. But you just grab them and you go in and you color. And I'm going to do it kind of quick and haphazardly because we're live. But when you go in and color this, you'll see that it gives you this beautiful sheen. And it's like a glittery shine that you get to it. But really, anything that you have, you can go in and color with. I have, again, the Olo markers. I use the Olo markers quite a bit when I'm coloring these in. They work beautifully because since they're an alcohol-based marker, they really are going to soak in really well. You just want to make sure you're not applying too much because it can soak through against the adhesive. The only thing I guess I wouldn't suggest would be watercolor. You do not want to watercolor with.
That makes sense.
That would be
makes sense.
the only real no-no.
Okay. So another question. What somebody asked, so what I'm using here and what I just inked were the washis. Some folks were asking about the Doodle bookmarks that have the same kind of look. They asked what weight these bookmarks are.
They're 80 pounds. They're printed on the same as our card bases.
You know what I would do? You could do 2 back to back.
Absolutely.
If you wanted to. Or connect them. So like, I like bookmarks that slide over the page. You could connect the top.
Yeah, this is actually,
This is nice.
I'll show you. I made this card the other day, and thank you. I made this card the other day, and what I did was I kept a little, so look how this works. So you pop this off, and it's magnetic.
Yes.
So they still have a regular card, but all you do is whenever they receive their card, you pop this out, and they can use this as a bookmark. I agree. I love magnetic bookmarks. So they get a twofer. They get their magnetic bookmark, and they also get a card at the same time.
Okay, so those marker or the pens that you were using, do you have those on your website?
Yes, so you would just search for Jelly Roll.
Can you add that to the supply list? Mike's going to add it to the supply list so you can find it easier.
Perfect. Yeah. What I would say is if you are going to laminate the bookmarks, which I would absolutely say, please go for it. It'll be great. If you're going to foil them, you would want to foil them first. I know that probably sounds silly, but if you're new to foiling, it will make sense.
Yeah, this would be amazing foiled, and you could even just ink blend it if you want to make it quick, but you could also color it in each, for a little bit of coloring therapy.
So this is the one that our dear sweet Shalana, she colored this one in. And you can see here, she really went to town. She used alcohol markers on this one. And used our gems, which is another great little thing we have here at Brutus Monroe. So we have them in all different colors. They're actually called crystals, but this one is emerald green. She used a lot of those on there. You get them in these cute little containers. It was very important that we did the packaging with the clear lid, so you could put them in a drawer and you could see what they were. But she used a whole bunch of them on here. But again, all she did was she took our Frostbite glitter stock, which was all talked about last night. It was super talked about last night.
Look at that.
In it has to be plugged in. In the world of me and Gina, because she said that if there was a glitter stock color that was her, it's this one. And I think this is pretty close to you too, Jennifer.
That's true.
But it's a new color and it's called Frostbite. And all she did was she took it, cut it out, put it on the back, because this is 100 pounds, so this is very thick.
Yeah.
And that's how she made them. Jessica's here with me now. She's going to she just plugged in the fuse for me, so I'm going to go ahead and send one of the bookmarks through so you can see what it looks like foiled.
Oh, good. Can you add this kit to the list, Mike?
The Washi kit, the beginner kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on the list.
I think you might have to. Mike has been adding things as we talk about them to the list on YouTube. So if you hit refresh, you'll be able to see the things added. Does that make sense? The things that he's added. All right, my head's going to get in the way, but see, now I don't have to worry about getting this straight because I'm going to line it up with that there's like a light gray printing that I'm following. So I just cut this to the same width as my washi strip. So if you want to have, if you want to use these little, what do you call these? What are they called?
They're called washi maps.
The washi maps. If you want to use the washi maps with things other than the washi tape, you can just cut a bunch of scraps into strips that are that same width as the washi, and use the maps for that. So this one is where I did the color blending. Yeah, Kathy, every time I put my head in front of the camera, you guys can count my grays. I like this one. Hold on, let me cut it so you can see it. I'm gonna have to do this one next.
So let me grab. I'm looking actually.
I like this one.
Bookmarks here somewhere.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that one next. All right. Jennifer, I see you've switched to using foam tape. Sylvia asked, Jennifer, I see you've switched to using foam tape instead of layers of cardstock. I just did it to be kind of lazy here. I used a piece of fun foam under this one, and I used foam tape under this one because these I know I'm going to hand to somebody. If I were, you could stack cardstock. I still do that. It just, I don't know. I was kind of in a hurry and I didn't want to go get all my cardstock strips to stack. The discount code, you got to put you got to have $50 in your cart, and then it should show up.
No code needed.
No code needed. All right, I'm going to do this one.
They won't be able to see it.
This one I think is from the second one.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to foil while Jennifer is doing card bases and stuff. I'm going to foil this. I'm going to use the fuse machine. It's off to the side, so I'm not going to be able to show you the fuse machine. But if you want to see an in-depth, both Jennifer and Gina have done it and shown that machine. But I'm going to use, thank you. I'm going to use one of my new foils from ThermoWeb. Can we just have a moment of silence for this foil?
What is that?
So this is called Disco. It's one of my new foils that we just launched with ThermoWeb. And it is probably one of the most spectacular foils that we have ever done. And luckily, Jessica just told me that we have cases of it. So we are good to go with it.
Because I need to buy some.
I'm going to show you. And I'll send an entire case just to you, Jennifer, so that you have it. I'm going to show you how to foil this in just one quick, easy step, because I know foiling is all the rage again. I mean, when I first started in the industry, foiling was very hip and happening, and then it kind of fell off a tiny little bit, and then it's back in full swing again. So
it is.
you always want to put your dull side to the side that you're going to actually be foiling. Now, these you're going to need a little tiny extra bit because these are a little bit longer than the bookmarks are a little bit longer than the 6-inch foil will allow for. So you're just going to take that, pop that on there. I usually grab just a little bit of low tack tape, whichever one you prefer, and I just place it, you know, kind of like so, because it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to take this, pop it into Gina's carrier sheet. These are very important. Please, please, please do not foil without a carrier sheet. You can
for real.
You know, I think it's just called like regular computer paper, you know, like the 40-pound computer paper. You can do that, but it always makes me nervous just for the simple fact that it can roll up in your machine. It's really not meant for that, but Gina's carrier sheets are just absolutely magnificent for this.
Yes.
So
I keep those very safe.
Yes. I mean, it just, you don't feel like, because the thing is, I mean, and this has happened to me many a times because I'm very fortunate to have licensing with ThermoWeb. So I've been playing around with foil for longer than I can remember. If you have a piece of your foil that wraps around your rollers in your machine, just take it from me. You do not want to have to take your machine apart, and you do not want to have to look for that foil.
No, thank you.
What's a cheap option? I wouldn't say that it's necessarily a cheap option, but I use a lot of pixie tape from Deco foil. That's probably one of my favorites because it is very low tack. Although I would tell you, I do not recommend it for if you are die cutting. Depending on the pressure of your machine, it can really get sticky. So I agree. I just say test it, or you know, what's that thing that we do? Just take it and tap it on your sweater a little bit, and you should be good to go.
To remove some of that stick.
Yeah. Okay, so we've pulled this out. Let's give it a second to cool here. That's the peel and reveal is always my favorite part. So let's go ahead and peel this off. Oh my Lord.
Oh, that's cool. And now you could, if you didn't want a white background there, you could just ink blend over that.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let me grab my stick and stamp map.
The foil will resist it.
Correct. And what's really cool, another trick that I'll teach you all real quick about foiling, that may not be something I'm teaching you may already know, but if you find that you have pieces that are like, I don't know what the word would be, they're kind of not fully, they're kind of like a little rigid, take yourself some of that low tack tape, place it on top of where you foiled, and lift it. And it will give you the most pristine foiling after it's done. Now, this is going to make you nervous. I promise you. I have a PhD in foiling. Do not let this worry you. It's not going to peel your foil off. What it's going to do is it's going to peel off all of the bits that did not stick perfectly. So I should have probably done, so I'll do the before and the after. So I only did this half so far. So you'll see all the kind of, you're not going to be able to see it on the camera, but it's very rigid on this side, and this side is absolutely pristine.
Nice.
And that's because you just take your low tack tape. Really, washi tape will work. You want to be careful with washi because there are so many different tack levels.
Different types,
yeah. It's definitely. I don't want to say all washi tapes are created equally and will work the same way. But now what I can do is I'm just going to take my stick and stamp mat. This happens to be the one from Crop and Create. There's quite a few different versions of it now. I am happy to say that we've partnered up with so many brands to do stick and stamp mats with them.
Yes.
It's wonderful when that happens, right? It's wonderful when we come together to dual brand a product instead of just making our own. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
It was wonderful that all the different brands came to me and said, Christopher, can we do a stick and stamp mat with both of our names on it? I said, nothing would delight me more. So we have them with Simon Says Stamp now. We have them Taylor from Tailored Expressions, Scrapbooking Carts Today. We have one, I'm pretty sure we have one coming with Honeybee. So all sorts of different brands we have worked with. And it's just really, the stick and stamp mats are all the same, depending on, what brand we have with our names on it. But the only thing that changes is if you want it to be rainbow, or if you want it to have bumblebees on it, or if it just changes based upon the brand. So I'm just going in and I'm just ink blending right on top of the foil. The foil will resist, but I will show you when we're done. It's very important that you go over top of it with like I'd say just a microfiber cloth, or Jennifer, I've seen you in the past use those Swiffer duster cloths. That would be a great thing to use on top of it.
Look at that.
Something that's soft but absorbent.
If you're looking for, Brianne just put a link to that Deco foil. Christopher, I also saw somebody asked if these bundles, the washi tape bundles, sell out, will they be restocked?
They will not sell out. Jessica's actually fixing it, I believe, as we speak. The reason that it said sold out was because I think she couldn't keep up with the amount of people that are grabbing it. So she's updating it as we speak. And the reason I say they won't sell out is because we literally make them here. So they,
good.
They should be good. Yeah, they all get printed. They all get printed here in-house. In 2020 we moved a lot of our printing and things like that in-house just because we couldn't do it. We couldn't get them printed anywhere else. So I was like, well, I guess we're gonna have to figure out how to do it ourselves.
You make your stencils there, don't you?
We sure do.
Yeah, I remember seeing the stencil machine. Yeah, I love that you guys make so much stuff.
About 80% of our products are made here now.
Wow, that's incredible.
The only thing we don't make actually are stamps.
Yeah, well, do you do dyes?
No, not yet. I wish we could figure that out because we'd really be able to help the industry out right now. But
gosh,
that's a really big process.
It is. I would agree with you.
So I'm going to show everybody real quick because we always have lots of questions about the stick and stamp mat. When you remove something from your stick and stamp mat, you bend it like this.
Taco.
And then that'll just release that for you. I do see a question. Will there be additional washi and foil designs coming out in the future? Absolutely. We release a new washi sheet every single month.
Nice.
Because it always matches our release for the month. And next month, I'm really excited. We actually have 2 different designs that are coming.
Nice.
All right, so now I'm going to take my microfiber cloth, just gently buff over top of this, and then you'll see how... I mean, I can't. There's just something about foiling that takes everything to a whole different level.
Holy moly! Okay, so what he is using there is the Doodle Bookmarks. The Doodle Bookmarks. It's a pack that comes like this, and there are 8 in there. These you can foil using the Thermoweb Deco foils. Mike put a link. So these are the bookmarks you can foil. I'm using the washies that we showed at the beginning of the video. These you cannot foil, at least the ones that are available now.
Not yet, no.
Not yet.
Not yet, nope.
Right. I just want to make sure
Eventually,
that people...
we're hoping we will be able to, but the bookmarks are foilable. And generally, on the website, you will see there's going to be like a little banner, or not a banner, a little badge that's on the website that will tell you that... the what's the word I'm looking for? The product is foilable.
Okay,
and I just spoke to, again, producer slash director of operations, Jess. She said the bundles will not sell out. They are actually set that we can sell as many as you guys would like because we have plenty of supplies here to make them.
Good. Yay.
Could you use the bookmarks on cards? Oh, that went fast. On cards if you want to foil. Absolutely.
Yeah. So these, just to show you, they're a bit longer than an A2 card. So they're 6.5 inches long. So you could put them on a 5x7 too. But what I think would be neat is to put it on a white note card, cut it right here, and stamp a sentiment right there. And then do all of what Christopher just showed you. Those are awesome.
And then use that piece that you cut off just on another card.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, this was, I mean, the bookmarks come together so quickly because you can foil them, you can color them. Oh my goodness, I love that. You are simply incredible. I mean, look at how simple. You made 3 cards, and how many supplies did you have to get out?
Not much.
Well, you know
Not
what I
much.
mean? I think it was
Yeah.
it was 4 or 5 different supplies.
I know. And the nice thing about, the thing that I like about this is that there's a different look to it than pattern paper. And it was easy to line up. I didn't have to measure anything. And this is nice and flat. I put a few little holographic stars on there. It's nice and flat though. So there's like no bulk to this. So I was able to create, I just need to glue these on card bases. That's it.
Yes, and you can also, you can run this through. So if you aren't really great at, you know, you don't have the dexterity to kind of push these down, what I have done is I have actually run this through my die cutting machine, and it really flattens them out for you.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's something you can do as well. But of course, like I said earlier, I will often use these with a like a circle die or a square die or a floral die, and just cut these out, and then you have really a pattern sticker before you remove them from the backer, and it really creates a cool thing.
Nice. Question, are the gray stripes foilable on the...
They are not, no.
No, that's not.
They are just in place to kind of disappear
To cover up,
as,
yep.
As you're putting them on. And the cool thing about the grayscale is what we call it, that level. I think it's a 20% grayscale. Is even if you miss, it's very hard to see. I mean, very, very hard to see that you have missed it, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, yep.
if you are a little tiny bit off, using an embossing folder, that's a great idea. Let me see if I have one.
Yeah.
Let me see if
Ooh,
I
I
have
like
one
that idea.
handy.
I think somebody asked about these Doodle bookmarks. There are 4 different designs in the pack, and there's 2 of each.
Correct. And you get 8 in a pack, yes. The embossing folder would be, because it would really just, I mean, it would all kind of fit right in, I guess.
So I don't have my foil machine out, but I can add the foil to it later if I wanted to. Let me see here. Trying to think of what to do. Let's see.
I mean, there's so many. The options really with the bookmarks I have found are unlimited because of the fact that you can blend, you can color, you can foil.
Right.
I've done some where I've actually just taken some of our chroma mist and I've just misted on top of it and let that dry. Yes, it is toner foil. So this foil that I showed earlier, which is the disco foil, this is a brand new foil that we have from my line of Deco foil. There's 4 new foils that just came out. This I'm a little bit, I would say, partial to, because it's about as disco as it gets. But there are 4 different ones.
Okay.
And it is a really, really, really fun one. Heather, our creative director, just messaged me and said that embossing folders are in the middle rack. Oh yeah, this one.
Roberta, Christopher used these Doodle bookmarks that you can use as a bookmark, but I'm going to actually put mine on a card. You can color these and you can foil them. So he foiled his using his new Disco Deco foil, and his has got all that crazy shine. You can see that crazy shine. I don't have my fuse machine out, so I just did ink blending over it.
Yeah, so this is one of the new ones. The name of the bundle is, I don't know actually. Washi Starter Bundle is what it's called. And if you look in the collection that is linked, you'll know you're in the collection because it says, I believe, Live with Jennifer. You'll know you're in the right collection, and that will show you where everything is that they're using today.
Yep.
Okay, I just had a question. Are we gonna be using number 3? I can absolutely use number 3 for you. I mean, we're going from, again, the high school diploma straight to the doctorate, but we can do it, okay?
Yep, that's okay.
I'll pull this one out and show you. The toner foils are 100% compatible with the polyglaze sheets, yes.
Nice.
And boy, are those polyglaze sheets incredible.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Brilliant.
cool.
Brilliant.
So cool. So let's see. So we'll cut this one down to 4¼ by 5½ again. And we'll do this one here.
Something to
That
keep in
is-
mind is if you like all of Gina's
First one.
foiling stuff, like the polyglaze stuff that she has, the foils that Deco foils done with Brutus Monroe work with her polyglaze stuff too.
Correct.
So
because
that-
I think a lot of them may know but may not know this. Gina and my foils currently are all done by Deco Foil. So
Yes.
That's who does all of our foils.
Yeah.
We are again also we're very fortunate to have the licensing with our friends at Fling. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to grab. So the reason that these ones are a little bit trickier is because these ones have a double layer. So you'll notice there are two different levels of gray, I guess we could say. I don't know the best way to explain. We have two different gray levels. And the darker level is what's going to be your top layer. And then the bottom level is going to be what would be considered your layer that is, what's the word I'm looking for? Your base layer, so to speak. So the reason these are darker is you won't be able to probably see this on camera, but you are going to be able to see this through the washi. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my Easter / spring washi. I'm just going to place it just like so. And it's very, very simple. This one's actually called Easter eggs that I'm using here. And I'm just going to add it directly to our piece. And again, you're just going to layer right on top. And again, you won't be able to see on camera, but I can see very well in real life the other stripe in between. And the stripe in between is a ½ inch as opposed to the full 1 inch that you were seeing with the other washi, the basic washi strips. So then, luckily, I have, and Jennifer, you probably have this too, I have a whole bunch of strips that I just keep in a vase. It's this vase over here. I keep a ton of just strips of cardstock that I want to use as kind of a final touch or a finishing touch on my cards. So what I suggest doing is just taking a little bit of glue or a little bit of adhesive, running it straight across, and you'll be able to see, you're just going to place this directly up the center.
Nice.
So you can see through this. Again, at home, it's going to be very difficult for you to see the gray through because we have these big, beautiful studio lights in here that make me look 22. And without them, it's a whole different world.
That's what I'm missing.
I love the studio. I mean, they're so bright right now. I think I probably just got a tan. I'm ready for the summer. But what you do is you just take them to coordinate with your colors. And if you were looking at this with me here in the studio, you'd be able to see. Now, obviously, you don't really need to see them because all we're doing here is just centering it. But it's nice to be able to have that kind of guide. If you struggle with making sure that your stripes are straight on your piece, I think it's great to have this little cheat sheet, so to speak. And sometimes you don't want to think, right? Sometimes you don't want to have to plan and think. You just want to grab stickers and add them to a sheet because that's ultimately what we're doing here. So we'll snip this off of here, snip, snip. And then lastly, I think we'll do a beautiful blue.
Nice. So with the 3-pack, you can layer even more.
Correct. So with the number 3,
amazing.
it was really designed to kind of kick it up a notch and add a little bit of extra to it. And we have a couple of them on the website that are actually free downloads. It's just in our digital section. It kind of shows you some different levels of even adding more to it as opposed to like using an actual map. It kind of lays it out for you. But again, you can see here in just a couple of moments, we were able to create really in my opinion,
Nice.
what looks like a very intricate, I mean, what's the word I'm looking for? Very intricate pattern paper, but we just took the washi and we added
Right.
some things. Oh, look at, see, I love how you did that with the bookmark, because not only is it beautiful because it's blended, but it looks like it has a matte layer on it, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just the border.
Yep. And this would look really cool foiled. I just don't have my foil machine.
Gorgeous.
It's in the other room.
Gorgeous.
A few things. Yeah, I'm sorry that Christopher's sound is a little bit quieter than mine. We mentioned at the beginning we were having tech issues, so we're just kind of doing the best we could with sound.
Sorry,
The other
everyone.
thing is, no, it's okay. It was us, you know. It happens, right? The other thing is the 25% off ends tomorrow, so it's through the end of the month.
Yes.
Right. There we go. Oh,
So I'm
Did you-
grabbing a quick little...
folks are asking about the embossing folder. He's going to try that right now.
I'm doing it right now. So this is from our dear sweet friends at Spellbinders. This is called the Detailed Embossing Folder. This is the scallops. We of course carry this at Brutus. We carry a lot of Spellbinders at Brutus. We love them over there.
Yes.
So I'm going to use my Gina K Intri-Cut machine. I can't say enough wonderful things about this. On the side of it, literally all I have to do is turn it to emboss, and I use the same plates for everything. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it.
So easy to use.
So we're going to pop this in like so, and we'll pop this inside of these two pieces, and then we're just going to run it through. Oops, wait, Jennifer, am I doing this wrong? Do I use both of these plates? I've never done this before.
You should.
It's very
You
tight.
should.
Is this a 3D? Is this 3D?
It might be.
It doesn't say it's 3D, but let's turn it on to 3D just in case.
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, it is?
I think
Okay.
it is.
They didn't tell me. It just says detailed, so I guess detailed
Yeah,
equals
that's
3D
okay.
maybe. That's okay. We're learning together today, everyone. Okay, so we'll move this back over here. Let's pop everything out.
Yes.
Oh, yep, that was
He's
it. It's 3D.
3D. Yeah, that's all right.
So, yes, whoever made this suggestion, you are wonderful, because you can see it's so cool.
You know what would be neat is, sorry, I get excited and I have to get close to the camera.
I'm the same way.
Gina has a Swiss dot embossing folder. That would look good on almost all of
Oh,
these.
yes, yes,
just to add a
yes.
little. That would be cool.
Absolutely. Well, just, I mean, even
love
thinking
it.
about this, if you have any, I mean, even if you have a balloon or some sort of a birthday, I mean, just adding that extra element to it
Yeah.
really makes it stand out and makes it very, very simple to do, I'd say.
Wow, lots of stuff here. I do want to, before we go, because I told you I wouldn't keep you long because you've got a live tonight and I've kept you long. I did want
That's
to
okay.
mention if folks out there like pattern papers that have they look like pieces of art, like something that you would spend hours trying to create. Christopher has a lot of these, and what I like about his paper packs is these are two-sided, so you see there's lots of beautiful prints. I mean, look at how gorgeous that is. And then, so it has 12 patterns, 4 of each, so there's 24 sheets, and it's got this nice sheen to it that just kind of steps it up a bit, and he's got a lot of those. So for me to paint something like that is not possible. So to have these that you could use to create a quick background and then just put a nice, great big die cut sentiment in the center, these would be great for fast cards. And then you could also cut strips from these and use those washi maps, those tape maps, to position them out. So you don't have to just use those maps for washi. You can cut it from pattern papers too.
I'm so glad you said that, Jennifer, because next month, well, not next month, in April, we have a massive release for my birthday. I'm going to be 40. So
Yay.
in
You're a
April,
baby.
we are releasing actually a die that does just that. You're going to be able to place it on top of your 6x6 sheet of paper, and it will cut out perfect washi tape or washi sheet pieces from your cardstock. So you're in my brain as always.
Yay.
So you'll be able to send it right through your die cut machine, and you'll be able to take your favorite 6x6 paper and turn it into washi sheets right out of the gate.
Nice. Awesome. Well, thank you. I'm going to switch back to us here. And you're not even there. There you are.
I was trying to put my embossing folder away. That's what I get for for the one time that I'm away.
I didn't warn you. So let's just review things. 50% or 25% off orders of $50 or more through the end of the month, which is tomorrow. Correct. And that includes everything, including the Scoozies candy shop. And you can find that at the top of your website. And that also includes the new Share Handmade Kindness aprons. And at the beginning of the video, we showed the 3 different options that are available and how these aprons are really nice quality. So that is all in the description below. So for any of this, just go to the description below. You don't need a code to shop, but if you click that link, it'll take you everywhere you need. There is even a link in my description that says featured, like it just will take you to all the featured things, the things that we featured today over on the Brutus Monroe website. And Brianne just put a link on where to shop there in the description. Thank you, Brianne. So lots of good things there, and I'm excited for more of these washi. These are cool. These are cool. Very smart.
It's simple. That's what we're looking for in 2025. I mean, at least for me, it's being able to still create beautiful handmade things, but making it just a little bit simpler, because there are beautiful and wonderful techniques out there that do take some time, but there are some times when you just want to sit down and you want to grab a couple of your washi sheets and grab a washi map. And we've had lots of our partners in creativity, which is what we call our customers. I don't want to confuse anybody. We don't call them customers.
Oh, I like
our partners in creativity. They will send us pictures, and they'll literally they'll grab one pack of washi maps, and they'll grab a couple, and that's what they do like for an entire couple of hours while they're watching a movie. Nice. They just take them, they take a look at them, they figure out which ones would work best, which ones would work together. And coming next month, we are going to start a series where you will actually, you can get a PDF printout of the washi map with the washi already on it. So you can get some ideas of which washi to use, which way to kind of mix and match them.
I don't hear
because our inspiration team, who is incredible, they come up with so many awesome ideas, but the easiest way for us to get it to you is in PDF form of kind of a design map, as opposed to cards that have so many elaborate pieces on them. You're like, by the time you see the card, you don't even see the washi map anymore. So it's easier for us to kind of give you a printout of that.
Something happened on our end, and the sound cut out for a moment. You said next month. Can you say that part again?
Yeah, so next month we have a new series coming out. They're printouts. They're going to be, it's a free resource that you'll get that actually has the washi maps that already have the washi on them. So they're not like a full size that you're printing out to use as a card base. It's just kind of a visual, so you can see the ones that we've mixed and matched and what we've put together. So it's about a quarter the size of what an actual one is. Because again, the intention isn't for you to print it out and put it on a card base. It's for you to take a look at and see what different ones that we've mixed and matched that we think work best together. Well, it turns out they could hear you. I couldn't hear you. So they got to hear you say it twice. Sorry about that. So we just reiterated. That's all. It's for the people in the back. It's been a day. It's been a day. It's always so fun though. I mean, it's really, it is what it is. It's just, I love these types of lives because it's just like, two friends just chatting together, and we have about 1 million of our other friends that are sitting around kind of throwing ideas and questions at us as well. It's really fun. We have to do it again because we've gone live before, and we used some products that were really unique to you, and you've got more of these kind of things that are unique to you. So I think we're going to have to schedule a live in a few weeks so that we can share more of those. This was just right up my alley today, because here's the thing. When you say share handmade kindness, there's 2 aspects to it, right? There's the joy of creating, and then there's the giving. And so sometimes you want to sit down and enjoy that creativity and spend a couple hours on a card, but sometimes you just need to be able to give, right? You just need a card to give that will give the person just as much joy to receive. And so to have options like this that
allow you to make an awesome card, but not spend a ton of time, I think this is incredible to have. So,
And I think the third part is also obviously the friendships that happen with that as well. Because when you're sharing handmade kindness, whether it is handmade kindness that is a card or handmade kindness that are chocolates that you're sending to someone that you love, or, you know, whatever that may be, you know, sharing that love, I think, is what it's all about in our industry. And being able to make something for someone or receive something from someone. I mean, we all know how special it is to receive something that's handmade. I mean, because we are a part of that. So, and I said last night, and I'll say it again, I'm the luckiest guy in the world because I get to hang out with my besties and be able to, because again, most of you probably don't know this, but when I first started in this industry and decided to create and started to create a company, Jennifer was one of the very first videos that I watched. I mean, I watched her and Christina Warner to figure out how to make Scoozy, who the candy store is named after. He's now 10, to make his invitations for his baby shower. So it's like such an incredible and crazy full circle moment for me to even be able to sit, you know, in the same room, let alone the same table as Jennifer. And you have no idea how much I adore you, my friend. And I love you for having me today.
well, you know that I kind of adopted myself into your family there at Brutus Monroe, so you can't get rid of me now.
Well, I mean, you adopted, but we signed the papers. So, I mean, it's a twofold type of a situation.
I love it. I love it. I can't wait to come back there. So everyone, all the information is in the description below. Christopher, you're going live tonight?
I go live in an hour and 10 minutes.
And it's on the Brutus Monroe channel, right?
Correct. Yep.
Folks, go watch that tonight. He goes live quite a bit, and his team does, and just you'll feel that, like, that family vibe that I talked about at the beginning of this video, and I think it's fun to see it captured. So thank you for making the time to be here.
Thank you for making the time for me to be here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and tell your team thank you. Tell Jess I said thank you. If she can hear me, I don't know if she can hear me, but
I'm sure they're all over in the other room with all their laptops feverishly, making sure that everything's stocked and everybody has everything they need. So they're probably all cheering that I didn't stab myself or fall down or a light hit me in the head or something. So anytime that a live happens that I don't have to change my outfit because something spilled on me is a good live. And luckily, we don't have a double of this sweater, so we would have been in trouble.
you need an apron.
Oh, I should have put my apron on. Right, you're right.
See?
Yes.
That's why I wear them. All right, well, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I hope you have a good evening. I will be live Sunday at 3 o'clock on this channel. Christopher will be live on his channel, the Brutus Monroe channel, tonight at 6. So be sure to check that out. And thank you for spending this time with us. I love you, Christopher, and I'm glad to see you.
I love you too.
All right, thank you, everyone. Take care.
Bye, everyone.